Welcome back to Legs 11 Adventures. I appreciate you all, and many thank for your support. Before I forget, please, what is the best hidden gem you found while traveling? Share in the comment section, please. Thank you. Let us continue. It is morning in Marrakech, and today is going to be a very different kind of adventure. This is a beautiful day. We were leaving the hustle and bustle of Marrakech behind and heading towards one of Morocco's most spectacular natural landscapes, the Atlas Mountains. Our vehicle arrived to pick us up, and after making sure we had everything we needed, we were ready to begin our journey. There was a real sense of excitement because we knew that today we would be seeing a completely different side of Morocco. We had already experienced the sights, sounds, and colors of Marrakech, but now we were going beyond the city. Our guide Hussein was excited and full of positive energy. He was already telling us how the day is going to progress. He also had a top secret which he kept firmly close to his chest. That's going to be revealed later. We are heading into the countryside, and waiting for us were mountains, valleys, traditional villages, local culture, and, of course, some incredible Moroccan food. So, bags in the vehicle, cameras ready, and off we went. As we drove away from our accommodation, Marrakech was already beginning to come alive. The streets were getting busier, the traffic, people were making their way to work, and the city was slowly waking up. But the further we traveled, the more the character of the landscape began to change. The buildings became less crowded, the traffic began to thin out, and gradually, the busy streets of Marrakech gave way to open roads and countryside. This was the beginning of our transition from the city to the mountains. And for me, one of the great things about a trip like this is that the journey itself becomes part of the experience. You don't simply arrive at the Atlas Mountains. You watch Morocco change around you as you travel towards them. As we continued along the road, the scenery became more and more interesting. The urban landscape of Marrakech was disappearing behind us, replaced by open fields, olive trees, rural settlements, and traditional Moroccan buildings. And then, in the distance, we could see them. The Atlas Mountains. At first, they appeared faintly on the horizon, but with every mile we traveled, they seemed to become larger and more dramatic. It was one of those moments when you realize just how quickly the landscape can change in Morocco. Only a short while earlier, we had been surrounded by the energy of Marrakech. Now we were traveling towards a vast mountain range that dominates the landscape, and this was only the beginning of our adventure. Along the way, we began to see glimpses of everyday life outside Marrakech. Small villages appeared beside the road. We passed agricultural land and people going about their daily routines. This was rural Morocco, a very different experience from the tourist attractions of the city. I found myself looking out of the window almost constantly. Every turn in the road seemed to reveal something new. By the way, have you noticed the roads? A village on the hillside, a field stretching towards the mountains, a group of trees standing against the landscape, and gradually the Atlas Mountains were becoming impossible to ignore. After traveling through the countryside, we eventually arrived at our first stop of the day. And it was somewhere I was particularly interested to visit, an Argan-oil cooperative. Now, most of us have probably heard of Argan-oil. It has become famous around the world and is used in everything from cooking to cosmetics and skincare. But how much do we actually know about where it comes from, and who produces it? That was something we were about to discover for ourselves. We were welcomed into the cooperative, where we would have the opportunity to learn about the traditional production of argan oil and the people whose work keeps this important Moroccan tradition alive. As we entered, we could immediately see that this wasn't simply a shop selling bottles of argan oil. There was a story behind the products. We were shown the argan nuts and given an explanation of how the oil is traditionally extracted. The process is much more labor-intensive than many people might imagine. The nuts have to be processed carefully, and traditionally much of the work is done by hand. For us, this was an opportunity to see something that we would normally only encounter as a finished product on a shop shelf. Here, we could see the work, the people, and the tradition behind it, and that made this our perfect first stop. Our journey had only just begun. We had left Marrakech that morning with mountains in the distance. Now we had our first glimpse into one of Morocco's traditional industries, but there was still so much more waiting for us. The mountains were calling. And our next adventure would take us further into the Atlas Mountains, where we will leave the vehicle behind and begin our guided mountain hike. But before that, after traveling through the beautiful Moroccan countryside, we eventually arrived at our first stop of the day, an Argan-oil cooperative. Argan oil is one of Morocco's most famous natural products, used for centuries in traditional food preparation and now widely recognized around the world for its cosmetic and skincare benefits. We were given the opportunity to learn more about how this precious oil is produced and to see some of the traditional methods involved. But there was also a lovely surprise waiting for us. It was Hope's birthday, and completely unexpectedly, a beautiful birthday cake was presented to her. It was such a thoughtful gesture and, quite honestly, it made the morning even more special. There we were, traveling through Morocco, surrounded by the mountains and countryside, and suddenly, we had a little birthday celebration right in the middle of our Atlas Mountains adventure. Of course, we couldn't let the moment pass without singing happy birthday, and I think it's moments like this that make traveling so memorable. It's not always the big landmarks or spectacular scenery that stay with you. Sometimes, it's the unexpected moments, kind gesture, a surprise, a birthday cake, and the people you share the experience with. We also learned quite a bit about argan oil and the traditional work involved in producing it. But rather than trying to squeeze everything into this video, I've decided to dedicate a separate video entirely to the argan oil cooperative. I'll take you inside, show you how the argan oil is produced, explain more about the traditional process, and share some of the things we discovered during our visit. So, if you're interested in learning more about argan oil and the women and traditions behind its production, make sure you look out for that video. For now, however, our Atlas Mountains adventure continues. We've had our first stop. We've celebrated Hope's birthday, and we've had our first taste of the countryside, but the mountains are still waiting for us. So, back on the road we go, because our next stop will take us even deeper into the Atlas Mountains. And this time we're getting out of the vehicle, and we're going on a hike. I think I'm getting excited here. There is a video coming up regarding the cooperative. Please watch this space.
What you do?
So what we do?
Yeah.
We organize tours around Morocco.
Yeah.
I organize like the woman-only trips,
Yeah.
educational trips, like
Yeah.
take students to imperial cities, bring them to work in villages,
Yeah.
help the community,
Yeah.
and also we do hiking trips in the mountains,
Yeah.
and walking in the heart of Sahara.
Wow.
So we offer many trips,
You
and
also
our
o-
company called Atlas Dream.
Atlas Dreams.
Atlas because I am from the Atlas.
Yeah.
And the dream,
Yeah.
because my dream is to be a guide, a tour
Yeah.
guide.
Okay.
That's why I call it the Atlas Dream.
You also
Okay.
do couples,
Yeah,
honeymoon?
couples, honeymoon couples, and we also do the hiking to the highest mountain.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
climb the highest mountain.
So what
Yeah.
is
It-
that like?
Either in 2 days or 3, or you can do it in 6 days trip.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do other villages, you do
Yeah.
other mountains,
Yeah.
and you sleep in refuges in the high altitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have mules to carry luggage and people to prepare for you the food. So we can take care of everything from the airport
Yeah.
to the airport.
Yeah.
You just
Okay.
tell us how many days you have in Morocco.
Yeah.
We design for you the best itinerary.
Can you actually say the whole website?
www.atlasdream.com.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You are welcome all the time to Morocco. I'm happy to help you.
Thank you.